Alright folks, time for a pond update. Everything's coming along really nicely. We're starting to get a little bit of water clarity. Look at our little lily bloom right here. Looking good. You can start to see we got about a little bit, maybe a foot and a half of visibility. I'm hoping that clears up overnight. But now Liz and I's project today, we're starting to mulch these little beds right here. You can see that's without mulch, that's with it. Liz and I are some mulching fools. We're gonna go around the entire pond all the way back here to this, what I call monkey grass. It's actually called Mundo grass. Shout out LFG, sounds like something you would name. We're gonna continue the mulch. You can see right there, it makes a good contrast with all that pine straw back behind it. Now once we resod our yard, we may end up getting rid of this little mulch path right here, but for right now it's gonna help keep everything in place, keep everything from eroding, so I'm happy with it. Now we just need that water to clear up so we can put the fish in. Alright, we just fed Bowser some of the leafy variety. Alright folks, the pond is looking great. The water's finally starting to clear up. We only have one problem, and that is that Hurricane Gordon is heading right at us. Liz and I worked hard to get all this mulch in just to keep everything from washing away. So I'm battening down the hatches here. I had to put all of my electrical. We haven't had a chance to mount it yet. I've got all of it sitting in the cooler, hopefully to keep it out of the rain. But so not everything about Hurricane Gordon is bad. While we were doing our pond build, a guy got his drone stuck in that tree right there. We couldn't get it out. We couldn't even see where it was at. But we just had a big wind gust come through, and look what we got laying in the yard right here. His drone, so I'm gonna get his mailing address and mail it back to him. It looks like it's still in good shape. Hadn't had any heavy rain, so it should be working. Got one little scuffed up propeller, but that's it. I'm sure he's gonna be happy. Alright, this is the calm before the storm. Hurricane Gordon is headed directly at us. We're about to get 60+ mile-an-hour winds. I'm a little bit worried about our trees because they haven't really had a lot of time to get the roots established in the ground, but we do have red clay, so I'm hoping that that'll help hold things together. Maybe the mulch will help keeping everything from washing away, but we're definitely going to have some overflow. So just in case you're wondering what happens to a pond like this whenever you get 6 to 10 inches of rain, well, rather than the water coming up and going over, we have a overflow valve, and what that's going to do is it's going to dump the water out, and then we run it down here and then disperse it out through the yard. We let the water get a little low on purpose because we knew that the storm was coming. We got some filters that will be taken out soon, but that little guy right there is the overflow valve. So as soon as the water rises up, it starts going in there, we're above pool level. Good thing we don't have the fish in yet. They'd be like, put me back in the tank. All right, we just fed Bowser some of the green variety, and guess who comes out? Old Taco. And look at the little shrimp over to the left of him. I just noticed him. That's that long whisker sticking out. Alrighty folks, we're batting down the hatches. The storm is here. We got some major winds, some major rain. I'm about to pull in my time-lapse camera. Come on in the house. So I went back and reviewed our security camera footage, and I'm glad I had it. It was a really bad storm. We got a ton of rain and high winds, but we had two major problem areas right here where these arrows are, and that's where the washout was occurring. Not only was it flooding the hill, all the water coming down the hill, but it was also washing mud from these areas into the pond. Let's just watch a quick time lapse of it. So at this point we reached maximum pool level and our overflow drain started to pump water out, but it couldn't handle the volume of water that was coming in, so the water continues to rise in the pool and then it begins overflowing the pond here. Alright folks, time to see the damage. We got over 8 inches of rain. It's still raining on us right now. Man, look at it. It looks like a mud pit. All the trees survived, so that's good. You can see where we washed out right here, where we went over the pond level. So that's actually good information. I'm happy we didn't have the fish in because we could have some fish laying on the ground right here if Bonnie and Clyde would have been in. You can see another little washout spot right there where all the mud came down the hill. We'll probably have to reinforce that area. We got some mulch down here in the pond. Man, it is muddy. We finally got it clear yesterday, and now we're gonna have to wait a little while. Looks like we got a bunch of red clay in here. But that's alright, we learned a lot from this. Didn't do too much damage. It survived its first hurricane. All the plants are looking good. We got a lot of good free water out of that storm. So overall, not too bad. I actually learned a pretty good bit. Alright, I just talked with Brian, one of the Aquascape contractors, and I think we got a new plan of attack. So most of the water is flowing in, overflowing down this hill into the pond. So what we're going to do is try to reroute it. I've got some leftover liner, and I'm thinking about using that along with some leftover aqua blue stone and putting it right out here and trying to reroute that water coming this way. And then also, if it does come over, I'm thinking about putting a French drain in right here and rerouting it right over here alongside this other. So that should take care of a lot of the water that was coming in here. So we'll just have to deal with the rainwater that comes in this area. So what I'm about to do now is get all the mulch out of the pond that washed in, and then I'm going to use a sump pump all this dirty water out, and then refill it back up with clean water. We got a pretty good flow rate on it, so it shouldn't take long. I'm going to try to get the little bit of mulch that's floating right here out. All right, we're about halfway drained. Well, this sump sucks it out quick. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm just taking my water hose and washing this red mud off these rocks, so that way it'll be part of the water that's getting sucked out. So all that red clay that washed in is all over these rocks. And try to get it all out of here, and that way we got our nice shiny rocks whenever we fill it back up. That's definitely our problem area right there. I'd say the filters in the skimmer did their job. They sucked about every bit of red clay up that they could hold. They used to be white. Man, that's pretty nasty. Oh yeah, I just gave her a bath, and now she's back to being my good looking bass pond. Alright, I washed her down a couple times, got all the mud out. We're filling her back up. Gosh, I love these little bass caves right there. I can almost guarantee you that's going to be Bonnie's hiding spot. Right there under that little ledge rock. So hopefully when we fill it back up, it won't be too muddy. I cleaned out the skimmer, I cleaned out the waterfalls up there. We're about halfway full now. Water's not looking too bad, so that should clear up pretty quick after we get the pumps going. I just got down in there and fixed my lilies. Nothing feels better than taking a dip in your backyard pond. We just cut the pumps on. You can see the circulation valves are going now. And here we go. And the BamaBass pond is back live again. Listen to that fall. Man, I love it. How I've missed it. We had a little minor setback with a hurricane, but all is well. Doesn't look too muddy, actually looks pretty clean. We'll get a good look right here when it hits the bottom. Oh yeah, not bad at all. A little bit of stained water right there coming through, but the red clay is gone. So I did a good cleanup bath on the old pond. Now we're just going to clear this water up. I'm going to do my best to get everything cleared up so we can put the fish in it. Guys, check this out. This is one of the coolest features of this pond build. I have a remote control that controls the flow of water coming out of the waterfall. It's hooked up to a variable speed pump, and I got a setting from 1 to 10 on how much water I want to flow out of that waterfall. So if we're sitting out here by the pond just enjoying it, I can crank it up, or if I'm filming a lot and don't want to hear the background noise, I can tune it down. So that, folks, is a great idea by Aquascape. Alright, after reviewing the hurricane footage, I've had a change of plans here. We're still going to put the liner in and the rocks to keep the dirt from coming in, but I'm going to install 2 drains. I'm going to install a really big drain right here in the worst spot, and I'm also going to install another drain where the water was flowing and building up right here. We're going to tie them together, tie both of the drains together, and then I'm also going to tie the overflow that comes out of the skimmer in. We're going to put a 6-inch pipe and run it all the way down past where Buster's at. We have a concrete drain on the other side of that fence. So we know a guy that installs drains for a living. We're going to get him to do the work. He's a professional, so hopefully we'll never have this issue happen again, even if we do have a hurricane, and that way we'll protect our fish. But speaking of fish, hopefully the next video we're going to have some fish in here, but after having this little scare, I'm not going to put Bonnie and Clyde in here first. So what I'd like to do is put some test fish in here. So either I'm going to go with feeder fish like goldfish, mosquito fish, shiners, anything like that. That way when we put the bass in, they'll already have plenty of food in here to eat. Or I'm going to go out and catch a new pet like a bluegill, a catfish, or that crappie that I've been telling you guys I was going to catch forever. So leave that comment below on the type of fish you think I should put in. And also, if you have any other recommendations, I know a lot of you probably have your own backyard ponds. So if you think I should put something else in, different types of plants, I'm thinking about even putting a feeding station, maybe like an underwater box or something I can put a GoPro in. So that way when we come out here and we're throwing the food out there, we'll get that cool underwater shot. So any kind of tips that you would like to see us have for our new backyard bass pond, let us know down below. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video, folks, and it's been an exciting adventure. I'm glad y'all are along for the ride with us, and we will see you all next time.
Bonnie and Clyde were pretty looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children.